Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Sydney versus Melbourne game, going through how it was really a weird one, to be honest, because Mills and Goulden absolutely starred. A huge output from them. I mean, Viney starred again, and we had Petrarca actually going well, so I messed up that part of the trade a little bit, which cost me probably 60, 70 positions if I'd gotten rid of Steele. But it was a really weird game, and Melbourne might have shot themselves in the literal foot by what they did, and the injuries that happened, because at the moment we don't know what Fritz's injury is, but there's a chance that he's out for a large portion or potentially the rest of the season, and they brought him back on just to win a game that didn't matter at all because they were locked into fourth anyway. I guess it means that the Swans have to play Carlton now instead of the Swans playing St Kilda at the SCG, but don't really think you should sacrifice Bailey Fritsch, as well as Melcham already going down with an ACL that you could tell from the footage that it was an ACL, how he already went down. So now they've got to bring back in potentially Grundy, which just throws their forward line into disarray. Petty's not back yet either, so their forward line's a complete mess now. All that just to win a game that didn't actually affect them in any which way or anything, just to get them an extra win. Instead of a 15-win season, you get a 16-win season. That was the only difference between Fritsch coming on or not. So yeah, it was a weird game. I don't think Sydney are necessarily out of can be considered completely out of the race, but it's going to be a lot harder from 8th. But hopefully we can get the fairy tale Western Bulldogs run and knock over some teams, like going in as the underdog, to be honest, as you have a lot less to, I guess, prove. And yeah, if we win a game, then it's just going to be a fun ride, to be honest. But before we get into the video, long-winded intro, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, as we do flip, as this channel will flip content. I'm hoping to get the AFLW content out a little bit tomorrow, I believe, or Thursday, and yeah, we'll go through that as, I just need to start actually looking into a little bit more content about that, as I need to get more in the know, to be honest, with that, but we'll get to that at a later stage. Let's actually get into the video and make me stop rambling on about future projects. So as you can see here with Mills 155, he played on ball, didn't really tag someone necessarily, and went ridiculous. And that's the difference between Mills, is Mills playing down back, Mills playing on the wing. He drops 30, 40 points. So this will be the interesting one, and I think as a Swans fan, I'll be able to tell you a little bit more about the recruitment and how that affects Mills' play and where he plays, as I don't think the Swans will recruit a midfielder, to be honest, this season, or a top-line midfielder. I think it will be Grundy. Cleary will go into the back line, and then you'll have Cunningham as the backup there. You'll also have... I really want Connor O'Sullivan, so I wonder if they'll trade up to get him, as that'll be another key back, and I don't think they'll go for Mackay if that's the case, but I think they could go for Mackay and not go for Connor O'Sullivan, but I want Connor O'Sullivan over Mackay anyway, so I think they'll fill that key back role. So I think that all leads into covering off the positions that Mills was originally playing and playing him in the middle. I do think that they do need to keep Errol Goulden on the wing rather than in the middle, as I think he does a lot of his better work on the wing, giving him that extra half a second to a second more of space. He also gets a cleaner kickoff and is a lot... I mean, he's not efficient at all, actually kicking-wise when he's in the clinches, I guess, but when he's out of... and in space, I think that's when he actually really does kick well. It's just over the shoulder and those mini quick kicks, they always turn into turnovers for Goulden. So it's finding a way to get him out into that space, because when he does find that extra half a second to a second space, he can hit someone 50 metres on the dead run and be that really precise kick. So he ended up with 142. Goulden absolutely came home in the second half with an 82, but still had a really good first half as well. Parker 97, he had a really good second half as well. So yeah, he did well. You got Chad Warner here, 92. Will be interesting to see what he's labelled as next year. I think he's around that 32% or so if I go to actually DFS, and we'll check his CBAs, Because if his CBAs are in the 30s again, that might just tick it down. We see here Warner was 45%. Well, this is going to be tight, 54%. What was Warner's time on ground? Didn't we say that his time on ground, if we go to AFL Fantasy, no, AFL Fantasy, go over here, and then we go to view your team, and then we go to chat Warner here, and we go to, I think this will show it here, 82% time on ground, so 28% outside of the midfield. I believe that's the way that metric works, or there or thereabouts. So I don't think he's going to get it. But he's going to be close, and so yeah, it'll be interesting what happens there. And yeah, we'll see what happens there. I mean, if you look at this and you go to Parker, I guess, I just want to see with Parker, what was his time on ground percentage? His time on ground percentage was 86%, and he spent all of it in the midfield. I'm trying to see if you can find someone that didn't spend 100 and spent more than effectively 100% of their time in the midfield, I guess you could say. Hickey wouldn't have started any centre bounces outside of that. Rowbottom 27, Gordon was up at, Mills was up at 77. So you see these last two games, and then if we look at Mills actually had a low output, but that was because he was tagging Dawson in that last game. But you can see the flip around here, and I'm guessing if you go to Gordon and you see his Giant score, it wasn't the greatest, was it? We look at the Giant score here, 132 in the midfield, so that's surprising. And then what did he do against Gold Coast? Yeah, so I mean, his isn't really correlated. What about Fremantle here? 89%, and when he went 77% and played complete midfield time, it looks like here, almost complete midfield time, he had that output there. So he does have some correlation, but it isn't a complete, like, almost causation that he scores worse with midfield time rather than wing time. Can't believe we're 7 minutes into the video and I haven't even gotten past Chad Warner. Stevens had a really good game. Probably going to go because you've got Matty Roberts waiting, and also you've got some other guys, and I think you can play Mill. I think you've got Goulden, Roberts. You've also got Campbell there for the wingers. You've also got potentially Florent or McInerney as well. So you've got 4 wingers there that are actual full-on wingers that can play, and I just think Dylan Stevens' role isn't really there. And you've also got Caden Clear coming in, another guy that is a left footer as well. So just another similar body. And I think Stevens can be expendable to get better draft picks to be able to pick up he could almost be the equivalent of getting Grundy across the line just in terms of trade value, because I think Stevens could go for a late second or something, and I think that's roughly the value that Brodie Grundy is around, given that he was traded for 27 last year. Lloyd Cunningham Heaney, 72, fell away and just couldn't kick straight. Blakey, McDonald, Wicks, Haywood, Rowbottom, McCartan, Florent, Fox, Rampy, none of these guys really matter too much, honestly. Then we move over to Melbourne, and you've got Viney with a 97 second half, just got off the leash basically, and we just couldn't stop him. Oliver, again, had a really good last quarter as well, 35. Petrarca, again, second half, he turned it on in the second half and basically won them the game. Neil Bullen, 97. Fritsch, 97. Kicked 5 goals, including 1-2. 3 goals in the last quarter. Yeah, I'm just intrigued to see what their reasoning behind that Fritsch was, and if he actually is injured or not. Because if he is injured, that looks like a really dumb play. But if he isn't injured, then they won the game, I guess. So it doesn't matter too much. Gawn, Grundy, May, Langford, Hunter, Bowie has some shoulder concerns, but I think he's fine, to be honest. Pickett, Rivers, Van Rooyen, Tucker, Smith, Melksham's ACL done for the year, and potentially most of next year as well, to be honest. At least for the bye next year, as it wasn't the complete one where you do like a meniscus or MCL or something alongside it, but he did completely do his ACL. McVee, Chandler, Sparrow, Lever, Salem. Salem 39. He's really fallen off a cliff. I mean, he was tagged out of the game, I'm pretty sure, by Clark pretty much the whole game. You can see Clark's effect actually does work. He just does nothing else, so it doesn't really help you. Because Clark here, you can see here, he took out Salem, but he had himself 9 touches of the ball. So 9 touches to 1, I guess you could say, or 9 touches to 1, 2, 3, 9 touches to 7 touches to 1 in the first 3 quarters. So yeah, an alright tagging role, I guess, but not really that influential. But anyway, that is the video there. And I guess I'll see you guys in the last game review of 2023 for AFL Fantasy Men's. And then hopefully, I'm hoping to find, if anyone knows in the comments, put it below, if there is a site that's going to do a similar breakdown to what I'm doing with DT Live in terms of like quarter by quarter, because I can use the AFL app, etc. Use it on the desktop, which has a little bit more information. But I don't like it as much because I like to see the fluctuations quarter on quarter. You can see tagging roles, you can see injuries, you can see this and that. Whereas if you look at the game stats, you kind of, especially if you don't really watch the game, you can kind of just loop it as a good game, whereas a guy might just have a big 1 quarter and do nothing for the rest of the game. So I guess it makes my job a little bit tougher. But anyway, put that down below if you do know that, and I guess I'll see you guys in the last video of Tuesday here. Thanks guys, goodbye.